ChatGPT has been invented by a few schools globally due to plagiarism problem.
Yes, everyone knows that ChatGPT can generate text similar as what humans would write. In addition to writing articles, editing summaries, translating, and telling jokes, it can even pass some national exams. Nevertheless, it is said that ChatGPT may cause students to start using it to do their homework, write reports, or papers, which also makes the school concerned about whether ChatGPT might have a negative impact on learning.
Speaking of this, can you show me your research data?
Yes, we divide it into 4 parts, including the situation of ChatGPT, the impacts on education, and the appearance of ChatGPT before and after, and the future impacts on teenagers.
Let's talk about the situation of ChatGPT now. According to our research, as you can see, almost each of the students has heard about ChatGPT. Only 2.1% of them haven't heard before. Moreover, among the students who have heard about ChatGPT, most of them learning from school teacher or the social media such as Facebook and Instagram.
So, whether all of them use ChatGPT before?
To our surprise, even though the strong function that ChatGPT has, there are still approximately 1/3 of students who haven't used it. And ever since the students who have used ChatGPT, more than nearly 46% of them become less and less using it.
What is unbelievable? There's only 15.4% of students usually use ChatGPT.
Also, we found that about part of the students use ChatGPT with curiosity, and approximately 40% of them use ChatGPT to search for information and make a presentation. Due to this, we can know that the reason why students use ChatGPT is just from their curiosity at first.
Is there any impact on Taiwanese teenagers?
Well, we organized 3 most common responses that students considered. Some students think that this may lead to plagiarism problems while using ChatGPT. And some students also think that this may result in doubts such as students becoming more and more lazy and losing the ability such as critical thinking and problem solving.
Well, despite these worries, over half of the students maintain positive views about ChatGPT.
Is there any difference before and after appearance of ChatGPT?
Compared with the appearance of ChatGPT before and after, we know that almost 70% of students will find teachers or classmates assistant at first if they made any academic difficulties before the appearance of ChatGPT. Well, after the appearance of ChatGPT, only a few students prefer to ask for it.
Oh, it seems that although most students now still prefer to seek help from teachers or classmates, when facing academic problems, ChatGPT can be a good learning tool.
However, after the appearance of ChatGPT, some students think they have certain extent of improvement such as writing skills, language skills, math skills, and test scores. Among them, most students think that they gain a lot of improvement in writing skills.
Where ChatGPT widely applies to teaching, what do you think the way that school or students will apply? Ethan?
In our opinion, designing a practical course or using ChatGPT as a learning assistant tool, both of them can help students improve their abilities such as logical thinking and problem solving.
In the end, what about the impact that ChatGPT may cause for teenagers in the future?
Surprisingly, more than 60% of the students consider their works may be replaced someday in the future.
Moreover, most of the students thought that interpreters and translators will be replaced, and 17.8% of that thought accountants will be replaced. Other jobs like writers, mathematicians, and teachers were also considered to be replaced.
Although there are some jobs considered to be replaced, on the other hand, students believe ChatGPT can help them work faster, can be better, and be more creative.
Also, there are some abilities that students thought ChatGPT can't replace, such as communication and coordination, imagination and creativity. Project integration and project knowledge are also going to play a significant role for students to help them solve the problem at the workplace.
After the discussion, I benefit greatly. The importance is the way we use ChatGPT wisely instead of prohibiting other ways to use it. We cannot deny the huge impact it brings.
For both teachers and students or even the whole education field, the important role that technology plays is assist, indicate, and also improve our ability. We have to distinguish the truth and improve our critical thinking.
There should be cooperative relationship between ChatGPT and students while using it with the attitude of rational and responsible. Surprisingly, ChatGPT is going to change our daily life, and no one will know how it will affect us. If you have any question about the issue, you can contact us with our Instagram or send an email to us. Again, my name is Ethan.
I'm Nina.
I'm Nick. Thanks for your attention.
"谢谢第四组的报告，现在是教授讲评及提问时间。
All right. My first question is, where does your information about ChatGPT come from? From ChatGPT?
We have searched some news about ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and we also asked ChatGPT whether it think about itself. So our information come from news and ChatGPT.
Okay. So I think perhaps if you want to make your research more specific, I think you can use a case or an example. For example, you can put some prompts into a ChatGPT. Prompts means 提示词. You can put some prompts into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT some questions and then show the results. I think that it helps you to make your research more specific and more concrete for audiences. All right. And then the third question is about you. Okay. I'm wondering, do you think, since your research is about ChatGPT, do you think AI will replace your job in the future, or not just you, perhaps people or your friends in your generation? Yeah. So do you think you will lose your job in the future because of AI?
I think it's depend on what's your future's job. If just like I said, like mathematicians and writers, it's very possible to be replaced by ChatGPT. But if your jobs is like basketball player or athletic player, yeah, absolutely, they won't be replaced by ChatGPT. Yes.
I'm going to ask a very serious question, okay? Because out of all the reports, I think your report is the most serious, right, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. If you don't know AI, and if you cannot control AI, you will be controlled by AI. Okay. Very serious question. Okay. All the students here are majoring in English, right? Okay. Have you tried using ChatGPT to write, say, a business letter, or to have a letter translated, from English to Chinese or Chinese to English? Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, honestly, I have.
Okay, seriously, do you think you can do a better job than ChatGPT? Which one is better?
I think ChatGPT.
All right. Now this is a very serious question for foreign language specialists or foreign language professionals, right? So the serious question is this. Okay, if you want to somehow make a living using your foreign language as a skill, how can you do it? Okay, in the age of AI. Because AI can do it in 2 seconds. Yeah, if you simply write in Chinese, it says, okay, now I'm going to write a business letter to this company, and then here's my purpose. And you can write everything in Chinese. You say, write me a letter, okay, in English, expressing my intent, and in 2 seconds you'll get this letter. So if you want to be an English major, want to make a living using your English skill or French or Italian, whatever, so how can you do it?
I think we can develop a habit of having a conversation with AI and use the language you want to talk.
So you're saying using AI to beat AI, right? That's the answer I'm giving you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, if you want to use, if you want to be a professional in terms of foreign language, you have to use AI to beat AI. Think about it. All right? It's the most important lesson for today. Thank you very much. Very serious talk.
谢谢第四组的精彩呈现与教授提问。Have you ever watched the NBA?
Not often, but when my dad is watching, I enjoy it.
I think the physique of athletes is really impressive.
And basketball players are so tall, if we stand next to them, we might only reach their waist.
It feels like we are elementary school students.
现在让我们欢迎第五组学长姐给我们分享的 NBA 对青少年行为的影响 The impact of NBA influence on teenagers' behavior.
Hey, Ethan, what did you do last weekend?
I watched the game of the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors.
Wow, it must be really interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely. The battle of the two stars, LeBron James and Steph Curry, are two of the best players in the league.
I can't agree with you more. And by the way, do you guys think that the NBA influenced teenagers' love for basketball?
Well, that's a good question. I think quite a lot, actually. As many people like playing basketball, right?
Well, let's find out.
Greetings and salutations to the professors, teachers, and students. I'm Ethan from K3R1. These are my partners, Jason and Chris. It's our honor to introduce you to our topic: how the NBA shapes Taiwanese teenagers' passion for basketball.
Today's presentation will be divided into 5 main parts. We will begin with our motivation, then proceed to our purpose and process. Following that, we will compare the statistics, and finally, we will conclude. Our motivation for doing this project is that we are all intrigued in basketball. So that's the reason why you choose the topic related to the NBA.
As you guys know, basketball is one of the most popular sports in the world. As one of the top professional basketball leagues in the world, the NBA's influence cannot be underestimated.
With the gradual popularity of basketball, more and more people in Taiwan have begun to enjoy playing it. Did you know how many people play basketball in Taiwan? According to reports, nearly 5 million people across Taiwan play basketball. Among all sports rankings, basketball holds the second position after badminton. This indicates a widespread popularity of basketball culture in Taiwan. And therefore, we would like to explore whether the NBA affects young people's behavior through their love for basketball.
There are 3 main purposes that we'd like to discuss about. Firstly, the current situation of Taiwanese teens playing basketball.
And second, we would also like to know Taiwanese teenagers' opinions about the NBA.
Lastly, we're going to give some examples to let everyone understand how basketball can influence us, especially the impact of the NBA.
Moving on to the process. To start, we determine our topic. Then we collect the relevant information that we need.
By organizing the data we collected, we use Google Form to create a questionnaire and analyze the results. The response of teenagers are from grade 10 to grade 12. And finally, we summarize our conclusions and personal perspective.
Following that, moving on to the statistics. First, what is the current situation of Taiwanese teenagers playing basketball? Look what I found! Astonishingly, in our surveys, over half of teenagers do not actually play basketball.
No way!
Wow, it sounds ridiculous, but as you can see, 56% of them said no.
I always thought most Taiwanese teenagers play basketball casually.
So do I.
By the way, Jason, how often do you play basketball?
Almost every day.
How about you, Chris?
Me too. But for others, play basketball for 1 to 2 times is the average, and about 28% of people play 3 to 4 times a week. Subsequently, 50% of people play 4 to 5 times, and less, 7% of people play every day. So, according to a graph, we realize more than half population really play basketball. Considering that there is a PE class in the school, if there were no PE class, they would not probably play basketball elsewhere.
And here are several reasons why teenagers in Taiwan play basketball or not. Among the very reasons why teenagers play or engage in basketball, the most significant factor is the joy and health benefits derived from the sports. Other reasons may include personal interests, building friendships, thrill of excitement, and aspiration of looking cool. And other reasons why they don't play basketball may include no interest, no time, easily injured, and lack of basketball skills.
Therefore, we found that only about 40% of teenagers love or really love playing basketball. On the contrary, the remaining 60% are those who are less interested or do not like playing basketball.
Next, according to our survey, most Taiwanese teenagers have watched the NBA games. When it comes to the frequency of watching the NBA games above the survey, what surprised us is that up to 50% of people rarely watch NBA games and 25% of people never watch. The results were unexpectedly contrary to our initial assumptions.
Here comes the point. Will watching the NBA make people interested in playing basketball?
Mostly yes, only a few disagree.
But will they play basketball after watching NBA games?
The answer comes to no. Over half of them will not play.
The fact is, though they think watching NBA games do make people interested in playing basketball, however, they don't actually take any action. Now, let's talk about the NBA stars. This graph illustrates whether the behavior of NBA stars affect teenagers or not. Two of the largest parts, which represents 55% and 25% of teenagers who agree or strongly agree with it, though 10% of them are neutral. The other 10% disagree with it. To summarize, according to the pie chart, we can find out that over 80% of teenagers do think that the behavior of NBA stars affect them.
So, what kinds of behavior? Basketball skills are the main reason. 60% of people who play basketball believe that they will learn the skills from the players, including their shooting, dribbling, passing, layup, spin move, and so on. NBA clothing style also play a vital role. For example, clothing brands and signature sneakers worn by NBA players. Another factor is personality, which might mean the celebration on the court or personal life of the court.
In fact, the Taiwanese government has been promoting the sport of basketball. For example, we can see basketball courts everywhere, no matter in parks or even under the highway bridge.
What's more, Taiwanese professional league is also very famous. For example, PD,
SBL,
and T1. However, as we mentioned before, Taiwanese teenagers' love for playing basketball is still below average.
Back to the influence of the NBA, it profoundly affects the younger generation nowadays, not only about the basketball skills, but also the wearing style, the action of celebrations from the players on the court.
In my perspective, in the education system in Taiwan, I consider it very challenging for students to have leisure time. To be more specific, as we mentioned before, not having enough time can be the main reasons they don't play basketball very often.
I wholeheartedly agree with this. On the other hand, I also accept that the NBA stars will affect us, because the NBA stars really triggers my shopping desire. For instance, I will buy some of the products that have NBA endorsements.
For me, I'm the one who is absolutely influenced by the NBA. I often watch videos or highlights on YouTube in order to learn plenty of basketball skills and advanced movements from the players who I admire. Meanwhile, their signature shoes and jerseys they wear also attract me a lot. And this is the end of our presentation for today. We hope that our presentation will enable you to know more about the influence of the NBA on Taiwanese teenagers. I'm Ethan.
I'm Jason.
I'm Chris.
Thanks for listening.
感谢第五组的报告，现在是教授讲评及提问时间。
My first question, I think the answer is obvious. The three of you all play basketball.
Yes, all of us are basketball lovers.
Great. You all look very, very fit, very handsome.
Thank you.
Don't you agree? No, because they're guys, so I can say that. You know, if it were ladies, then I wouldn't. All right. First question. The conclusion is quite obvious, right? NBA has some kind of huge influence on Taiwan teenagers in terms of their passion towards basketball. But do you think, okay, because our group 3 did a report on bandwagon effect, right? 从众效应.
Yes.
Bandwagon effect. So do you think the NBA created some kind of bandwagon effect among teenagers in terms of basketball? Okay, and the next question is it healthy or is it sort of a little bit beyond healthy? Maybe it's a little bit not healthy now.
Did you mean the bad sides of basketball or?
Well, that's my question to you. Do you think, say, if young people simply just go to the court and play basketball, that's fine. But maybe they are spending too much money. They are buying the products. Do you see some kind of negative effect in terms of
Yes,
effect?
obviously yes. And I think the love for basketball is like a double-edged blade. So I think, though there are some disadvantages that we mentioned on our presentation, and there are some disadvantages. For example, I think, like what Professor says, I think maybe if you spend too much money on maybe some products, for example, the signature shoes or jerseys. So I think the economy problems are, you can say that it is bad for teenagers because they will to immerse themselves in the sport of basketball, so they will spend too much money. So maybe the really bad effect is that their parents will think they to engage in these sports and spend too much money.
Thank you. Next question is a bit sensitive, right? Have you noticed that in everything that I have shown, in terms of basketball players, they are all males, all men? Okay, question. Now, in your survey, there were 102 participants. How many are males? How many are females?
I would say that if there are 10 people in a person, and about like maybe about like 7 people are the male and 3 people are the female, because
Okay, so out of the 102, so roughly 70 are males. 30
because
are
like the
females.
girls of participate in the basketball are less than boys.
That's right. Okay. So would you agree that that your conclusion that NBA shapes Taiwan teenagers' passion for basketball is more precise if you change the title to change Taiwanese male teenagers' perception for basketball? Because I think it's just my sort of stereotypical kind of impression that maybe ladies, girls not so gung ho?
Well, I think it depends on the situation. For example, I think maybe Taiwanese girls don't usually play basketball as often as boys, but I think like other countries, like America, they have NBA, but they also have WNBA.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think it just depends on personal interest.
Okay, right. So your conclusion largely applies to male Taiwan teenagers. Would you
So
agree?
during this question, I think if we are talking about the males proportion and the females, I think we can get more research on it.
Well, you can actually simply go back to your survey, right? Because you have 70 boys and 30 girls, right?
Yeah.
And then see how those 30 ladies responded to your questions, right? And you can do a comparison. Yeah. Go ahead.
I have one suggestion and one question, and the question is more like a follow-up question to Professor He's question. You just mentioned less than 50% of teenagers in Taiwan regularly plays basketball, right? But I think your research, I think a good research should explain why and how a kind of phenomenon happens or occurs, not just describe it. So I think you should I think you did a good job when you described people's experience in playing basketball, but I think you should explain why. Okay, you should use more PowerPoint slides to explain why less than 50% of teenagers in Taiwan playing basketball. Perhaps gender is an issue, as Professor He said. Okay, and my next question, my question is based on your research findings. Okay, if you are hired by a multinational corporation or company such as Nike or Adidas, so because for me, you guys want to promote basketball, right? So what advice would you give to them?
Or as as I just say in conclusion, in Taiwan's education system, we don't have enough time to do what we want to do. For example, every day I go to school from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and after I go home and eating dinner, I only have 2 hours or 3 hours to do what I want to do. And of course, I can play basketball. Yeah.
What's more, there are also some information that we can improve these schedules. Like we can find more friends to play these, to engage these, participate in these systems. So we can to let more people to get in with our to play more basketballs.
I think when it comes to the best way to promote basketball, I think the most basic and simple thing is that you have to find people who have same hobby as you. And if you want to a particular solutions to solve the problems, maybe we can try and write some recommendations or letters to the government and see whether they will do the promote of basketball. Thank you.
Thank you.
谢谢第5组的精彩呈现与教授提问。
Hey, I have got a pimple here. Oh, I will go to wear a mask.
It's just a pimple. It's not like you're the only one who gets them. Why wear a mask? Did you catch a cold or something?
No, I just worry that people might think I look ugly with pimple. It makes me quite anxious.
Is this what they call appearance anxiety?
Oh, isn't it? Well, let's listen to what the 6th group has to say. 让我们欢迎第6组的 Research and Exploration of Appearance Anxiety among High School Students.